What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. We've got a lot of anger on this show. I'm just going to warn everybody. Papa Dude not in a great mood. So if you like the Papa Dude rants, you're going to get to see one of them, I know for sure. How's it going today, Papa Dude?
Well, I'm not in that bad a mood. I'm over it. I got a few comments, but all in all, wasn't unexpected really to me. And it was still a great week of college football for sure. Some really good games, interesting stuff. And the NFL, God, how can you predict what's going on there? It's just baffling to me.
Yeah, this should be a fun show. There's a lot to talk about. The NFL for sure, with a lot, and obviously college football. Another really good Saturday, and two really good Saturdays coming up as well. So really gonna decide the playoff picture there in college football. I mean, I'm with you. A lot of people are probably going to be surprised with my thoughts on OU, and I'll just be very honest and straightforward and pretty much not emotional, because if you watch this team all year and you didn't see this coming, that's on you, not on Oklahoma.
Right.
This has been a bad year for a while now, so there was really no surprise to it. All right, let's get it going, and I think that's probably what everybody wants us to talk about first. So I'll put that up on the screen now for you guys. So we'll start with it. OU gets beat 27-14 at Baylor. Really was never much of a game in the second half. First half, this game was tied at 7. You kind of hung around for midway through the third quarter and then just got blown out of this game. Go ahead. Initial thoughts. OU now with a loss at 9-1.
Well, when you lose a game like this, you're mad, but it doesn't dwell with you very long. It doesn't me, because when you get your ass handed to you, you just take it like a man,
Well, unless you're Lincoln Riley.
Well, that's another story that we'll get to before this is over. But, I mean, it was just an old-fashioned butt kicking is what it was by a pretty good team. Lost in all this is Baylor's not bad. I mean, they're 8-2, and they're pretty good. And they didn't give a crap what was on the front of the uniform for Oklahoma. They could care less. And they just came out and whipped them. And so that's about the story. I am kind of patting myself on the back, because I said back when Caleb Williams took over at quarterback, he was not the answer. He was going to struggle. I knew he was. He's just too young for this. And he did. He struggled. And he's a true freshman. And they confused him, and he didn't play very well. And this is what happens. So, I thought our defense played all right. They're just not good enough to keep us in the game.
Well, each year under Lincoln Riley, we get further away from the ultimate goal of what OU football is every year, and that's to win a national championship. And this year, you could tell we were the furthest away we've ever been, even before this game. And you think about Lincoln Riley's first year at Oklahoma. He had Baker Mayfield. It was his senior year. And if you remember that year, OU played Georgia in the opening round of the playoff and went into double overtime with them. And then Georgia the next week goes and plays Alabama into overtime, and that was the game where Tua saved Alabama. Georgia had the game won.
Yes.
So you could you lay that out that year, and you say, well, Oklahoma was right there. Thing breaks this way or that way, Oklahoma could have won the national title. All right, I accept that for sure. Mm-hmm. The next year, the Kyler Murray year, Oklahoma makes the playoff and didn't belong on the same field as Alabama. It wasn't even close. By the way, Alabama did not win the national title that year. So we weren't even better or even close to the second best team that year. Go to the Jalen Hurts year, the third year. I think LSU could have beaten Oklahoma 150-0 in the playoff that year. OU was even further away. Last year, they didn't make it. Last year, they lost at home to Kansas State. They lost to Iowa State. They did play better towards the end of the year, but they weren't close again last year. And this year, Dennis just said it. They're not good. They haven't been good all year. And they're not even close. And they're so far away now that they can't even win the Big 12. Like, it's very questionable, as in they are not the favorites anymore to even win the conference. Don't give me Baylor's good. Do not give me that. They are not. They are not, period. Baylor would be an underdog against 20 to 25 teams in the country. This is not a good team.
Well, they're not a bad team. But
they're an average team.
It's a team that it's a team that Oklahoma should beat.
It's a team that has decent players that tried against a team that has good players and doesn't play hard most weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have several theories as to what's going on. None of them probably are right, but we don't have those in the trenches players that we used to have.
No.
We're, in my opinion, Lincoln Riley is too interested in winning the recruiting title each year. Going around and getting 4 and 5 stars are a big deal to him. Our best players over the years haven't been 4 and 5 stars. And we don't have those guys that are going to get in there when you got to have a play and make it. And I think he's hired coaches that can't coach, but they can recruit. And you disagree with me. You don't think position coaches are that important. They are. I can't tell the coaches from the players on the sidelines. They act just like the players. They're over there with their hats on backwards and they're throwing their towels around and they're acting like they're 12 years old. That's not coaches. That's a bunch of guys that are trying to make the players like them. And that is bullshit. The players don't have to like you. They have to respect you. And they have to do what they're told to do. It's not happening. We got one guy down there that's got the guts to say it like it is. And I've criticized him before, but I'm liking him more and more. And that's the defensive coordinator. He's called him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only one that has said they don't practice hard, which is coach speak for they're not listening to what we're telling them to do.
Yeah.
So they got issues down there, and they've been living on a prayer the entire year. We were just discussing it. They could easily be 3 and 7, 4 and 6. You know, they really have not. They've dominated Texas Tech and TCU. That's about it. And we're going to get into Texas's situation here in a minute. I think we'll talk about that. But Oklahoma could have lost to Kansas either, or 2. They could have lost to them. They should have lost to them.
They should have lost to Texas. They should have lost to West Virginia. They should have lost to Tulane. They should have lost to Kansas. I mean, we could just go on and on. OU is 9-1, and they could, like you said, they could be 4 and 6, 5 and 5, and they played nobody, and they still haven't. I'm sorry. Baylor, go ahead.
No, the guys here are making some great comments.
Yeah, I'll get to them in a second, but I want to say something else.
Okay, go for it.
This is getting the parallel I'm starting to see is seriously scary because they're talking about recruiting classes. You mentioned it too. Our recruiting classes are better and better and better.
Year.
And we're getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, who does that sound like?
It sounds like
Texas.
It sounds like Mac Brown's early Texas teams from 1999 to 2004, before Vince Young's final year and before Colt McCoy's reign. That was really the only time period when Mac Brown was at Texas where they would win big games against good teams.
Yes.
The rest of the time, they were a bunch of mouths, a bunch of highly recruited guys, and they would get in games against the teams like Oklahoma and against other teams that were decent, and they never could get the job done because they were mouth, and that's it. And that's what Oklahoma is right now.
The other thing I always loved the way Stoops handled recruiting. When his recruiting classes would be 14, 15, whatever, he said, you can't tell what a 4 and a 5 star is. Just because he's a 4 and a 5 star doesn't mean he can play.
Yeah.
And you got to understand who's rating these guys. They're recruiting gurus, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are just a bunch of guys that never played football or one worth of shit at football, and
Yeah.
somehow got this job, and they're the experts on whether these guys are 4s and 5s. That's ridiculous too, you know. And here's another stupid thing that's happening. They're starting to sign these guys or get commitments from these kids when they're sophomores.
Yeah.
How stupid is that? So now these kids, they strut around in high school like, look at me, I've already committed to Oklahoma, or I already committed to Alabama, and all these. And then they go out and they play, and they're better than these other players. And then they get to college and they get hit in the mouth, and they've never been hit in the mouth before. And they don't know how to do it. And then you got these coaches over here babying them. You know, well, it's going to be okay, honey. It's going to be okay. You'll be all right. And it's just, that's what's happening at Oklahoma. There's no doubt in my mind that's what's happening.
Yeah, OU has no toughness, and that's all there is to it. And it's like this every year. And so what will happen? They will come out Saturday, and they will probably play their best game, and everything will be fine because Iowa State sucks,
That's
and
right.
it's at home, and they're mad. You know, oh, we're mad, and no, we're going to show how tough we are. But then they'll get up against somebody else that's decent, and they'll get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
I mean,
another thing. I've been watching some videos from the punter down there, and they're really pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Go if you don't have anything to do, go on YouTube sometime if you're an OU fan and see how these players are pampered down there. They're pampered.
Yep.
They're like they're kings.
Yep.
All of the crap they give them, all of the stuff and it may be that way everywhere, but it's really, you know, they're just pampered. That's the only way I can say it. It's kind of,
they are, and I think they are everywhere though. But
I do too.
Other programs I watch around the country, when the chips are down, they can make plays, and it's just that simple.
Well, Aaron, Alabama doesn't have any trouble getting it out of 4 and 5 stars.
No.
That's because Nick Saban doesn't allow this crap to happen.
That's the thing. You either it's one of two problems, and I'll get to the comments right now. And Magic says there's a culture problem at OU. So he's either he's not looking hard enough into the character of the guys that he's recruiting, which is possible, or he's just not making them do what they need to be doing. He's letting them run wild, letting them make decisions, afraid to piss them off, things like that. And I think that's kind of become just the growing issue. It's one of the two things. OU has more talent than Baylor, and I don't think it's close. And you don't have to. You could disagree with you all you want, but you're not going to convince me. They don't have the toughness.
But if you watch the game Saturday, you couldn't tell it.
Oh, you absolutely could tell it when we were dominating them on the line of scrimmage both ways in the first half and couldn't do anything with it. I mean, Baylor could do nothing, but you know what they did? They made one little adjustment. Yeah. And they ran the quarterback in the second half, and we looked like we had never seen a quarterback run ever. No, because that's what teams do. So it's just like OU was dominating, Baylor adjust, OU did nothing.
Yep, true.
And OU didn't adjust offensively at all. And here's the deal, and I agree with Mark says between NIL and transferring and the players are becoming more entitled, and that's bad for college football. Here's the deal. The transfer portals make it so easy to replace guys. So sure, you may lose guys if you make them mad. You can go out and get different guys. Look at what OU's done. The transfer portal has been amazing. So to me, if guys aren't doing what they're supposed to do, just run them off. I mean, you can always go get more. So look at Michigan State. Most of their team came from the transfer portal.
Absolutely.
So you think OU needs some help? Well, I would think they could get some players. So
they got a list of guys probably right now that's wanting in.
Yeah. Now
this transfer portal's bullshit, though.
Well, it is. It's made it difficult, but
it has.
At the same time, I actually disagree because the head coach can go any damn where he wants. The assistants can go anywhere they want. They go anywhere. They get paid millions of dollars. They go to any school and flip everyone. They've recruited you for 3 years and then they're out of there the minute you get there. But the player can't transfer. Come on, I think that's bullshit. I think it's a terrible statement by you. I think the player should be able to leave.
I think they can transfer, but they shouldn't be eligible immediately.
Well, why? Okay, so the coach leaves and he can't be eligible for a year.
Well, you can argue that either way. So
there's
you
no
know,
argument. If a guy doesn't want to be there, leave.
well, okay, he can leave, but he shouldn't be eligible immediately. Remember, he made a commitment to that school. And when you make the commitment, you got to take into consideration the coach might leave. You have to take that in consideration.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm not even getting into that. That is a crazy
Well,
comment.
it's not, because it's just like this NIL thing and all this crap, these guys wanting all this extra money. They get everything else given to them when they're there. I just don't agree with them being any different than any other college student. I just don't.
Well, the last time you want to talk about being the same as a college student. If I'm going to Missouri Southern and I want to transfer to Pitt State, I don't have to sit out a year to study. So, I mean, you're going down a road that's crazy.
Well, that's fine, but
these coaches are sitting there making $2-3 million. They're making a commitment. They've made a commitment to that kid that they're going to be there, and they've recruited him for 2 and 3 years, and then they leave, and the kid can't leave. I mean, that's craziness to me.
I will listen to you a little bit, but the one point you did make that I do agree with is if you're worried about these kids leaving your program, then you got a problem, because you can't worry about that. If they don't want to be there, then get them the hell out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I heard him commenting, oh God, he's going to make Caleb Williams mad when he took him out, and now he's going to leave too. Well, I can't even fathom as a coach even thinking about that.
No.
I can't even. You bench players all the time when they're not playing well. Are these kids so soft that they can't see that?
I mean, at OU, it feels like they are.
I do too. That's the problem.
And I don't feel like it's – I watch other teams, and I'm not as connected to other teams I am OU, but I'm pretty connected to college football. I know about a lot of situations with the big programs. I just don't see this.
No, I don't
problems.
Now, it could be that we're listening to this crap on the radio because we follow them. The same thing could be happening at other places too that we don't know about.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah.
I've missed a few comments here. I was going to get back to this one. Mark, this was a long time ago. Mark said about the field goal situation. So if you missed it,
yes,
it's 24-14. Baylor's running out the clock. They call timeout with 3 seconds left for no reason. When you're watching, it's like, why'd they do that? That's weird. Their fans rush the field thinking the game's over. It's not. They pull everybody back. Baylor kicks a field goal. Then the game ends. Turns out he's kicking a field goal in case there's tiebreakers. Margin of victory will then come into play, which very well could be a possibility.
Possible.
That being said, once it was explained to me, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
The way OU reacted to this, crybabying around about it, the way Lincoln Riley crybabied around about this, oh, my player's safety, and I can't believe he did this, and there's a code of sportsmanship. My God, I cannot think of coming across any more soft than this.
No, it's embarrassing to the University of Oklahoma to act like that. You just got your butt kicked.
Yeah.
You should have got beat worse than what the score was anyway. So just suck it up, take it like a man, and get off the field.
Yeah. Get your players out there, quit crybabying around, and get the hell out of there. That's what
lots in all this is too. When they scored to make it 24-14, we got a personal foul penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct on the extra point, which made us have to kick off from the 20?
Yeah.
And of course, we were going to kick an onside kick.
Yeah.
Of course, we couldn't get it if we had to. They got it. Well, you don't get that 15-yard penalty. They may never be down there in that situation to kick a field goal anyway.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, that's definitely true. So yeah, and again, I'll lose with class, win with class. Yeah, I mean, they're ridiculous.
It is
making an ass out of yourself.
Get on there and don't even mention it. Well, they ask him about it. Just say, yeah, that's just what happened. We played like crap, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah,
but no, I wouldn't have done it. There's a code. There's a sportsmanship code.
Yeah.
Really? I never heard that before.
Yeah. I,
It
I,
might
I
be in
mean,
Mighty Mites, Pee Wees, something like that.
yeah.
This is big boy football, Lincoln.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the coach of the University of Oklahoma. You arrogant bastards are going to the SEC next year. Good luck with that, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Lincoln Riley won't survive unless some things change. And I think Lincoln Riley is a fantastic offensive coach. I know they
He
scored 14 points and it was, I don't care. I think he's a fantastic offensive
He
coach.
is.
I think he's a fantastic offensive game
He's
planner.
a good person, too.
I agree. But his program is a mess and it's in decline. And that's a fact. And they're gonna have to make changes. I think he's capable, but they're gonna have to make changes. There's just no doubt about it.
Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be some coaches fired. I'll bet you. Because there's a good chance he's going to get the crap beat out of him in Stillwater.
Yep.
And when that happens, they won't stand for that. The fans won't stand for that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be some changes made. No question about it. We've seen it before. Bob Stoops, had a great program and he let it slip a little bit, fired some coaches and got it right back up to where it was. Mostly Lincoln Riley. That was a big reason why they kind of got back. And a guy named Baker Mayfield did.
Yeah. Let's kind of end it with this. The group that needs to have the most blame put on them is the players. It's the players. They're not playing to their capability for some reason. So they got to take some of the blame. We blame the coaches far too much. They're just not doing things. And I hear people go, well, what kind of a play call was that? When you call a pass play at OU, there's 4 and 5 options.
Yep.
And just because he doesn't, or the pass is incomplete, doesn't mean it was a bad play call. The quarterback may not have got the ball to the right receiver. There might be a guy wide open. He didn't see him. So there's so much stuff going on here that is, they got to make plays. They got to.
As far as play calling or game planning, all that, I don't blame the coaches.
No, I don't either.
Not having them ready to play is where
exactly.
I'm at.
I agree with that. Totally.
You're
That's
right.
They have to take responsibility.
You drop back to pass, quarterback's got to make the play. It's not very often that ball's predetermined on screens and things like that. Yes, but most of OU's passes, you drop back and you've got options and you got to make the right read and make the right throw, and then you got to hit a guy. And by the way, he couldn't. I mean, they had guys open and he couldn't hit them. I mean, that was the other thing. He struggled.
He was bad. He was the start of the whole problem.
Yeah, they couldn't move the ball because if they get a couple scores early, like they usually do, then they're up and they probably win that game. But
let's go on. We're boring these people.
Yep. All right, we'll move on. We had a good game Thursday night. We'll start with that one. I'll just quickly kind of go through some of these. Don't need to be talked about much. Pittsburgh defeated North Carolina 30-23. So Pittsburgh, in overtime, it was a really good game, like we thought it would be. And we'll move on. Cincinnati picked up a 45-28 win over South Florida. It still wasn't impressive, really, but it's a win. They didn't really have to sweat it out. They looked like winners pretty much the whole time there.
Right. They did.
We'll stop this one for a minute. Georgia goes to Tennessee. This game, I'm not going to say it was tight. It really wasn't, but it was close for a little bit. Boy, Georgia, man, they just turn it on and they just kick your ass. And Tennessee had success early, and then they just could not move the ball.
No, I tell you, Georgia is more impressive each week. I think their offense is getting better too. They just do what they have to do to kick you, and Tennessee scored 10 points real early.
Yep.
Yeah, and look what they ended up with, 17. They were stuck on 10 for a long time. Georgia is really, really good. I don't see anybody close to them. That doesn't mean they can't get beat because anything can happen. But wow, they look very, very good. And they're a lock for the playoffs now, pretty much. They got Georgia Tech and Charleston Southern, I think, this week.
Yeah,
they're going to be 12-0. They're in, even if they lose the SEC championship game. They're in.
Yep, they're in, deservingly so. By the way, Martin is 2-0 giving out parlays. I'm going to read this one out real quick for everybody.
Okay, yeah.
He's got the Atlanta Hawks money line, the Rams money line, and the under, and then Los Angeles Lakers money line. 14 parlay. Martin 2-0 giving out picks live. So anybody watching live, let's see if he can make it 3-0.
Yeah, go bet it. Go bet it, people.
Tonight. All right. Alabama wins 59-3 over New Mexico State. Oregon picked up a big 38-24 win over Washington State. I thought this one was an interesting game. A lot of people thought Purdue might hang in there, might give them a game, might, maybe put them on upset alert. No. Ohio State wins 59-31.
That was their most impressive win, in my opinion. Even more so than Penn State, because they didn't beat Penn State very bad. Probably a complete game from them. A little concerning about giving up 31 points. I know they're a little concerned about their defense. They play Michigan State this week, and that's going to be a shootout, I think. Both teams can score. I think they're 20-point favored in that game. So
yeah,
it's down to a 2-game season for Ohio State. Well, 3, because you got to count the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, because Wisconsin is playing a little better, and they might be able to give Ohio State, Michigan State, whoever gets in there, might be able to give them a game. We'll see what happens. Of course, Wisconsin's still got to win 2 more as well. Speaking of Michigan, 21-17. Boy, I got to tell you, I thought Penn State had them. Michigan gets a late touchdown. Somehow a tight end gets loose. It's just stumbling down the sideline, and nobody could catch him until the very end. Michigan wins at 20-17. Huge win for the Wolverines. Yes.
Biggest win of the week.
Yeah, for sure. They look beat.
They did. And now they got a shot. And got to watch it this week. Trap game. Got to go to Maryland. Maryland's good enough to score points. If Michigan's looking ahead to Ohio State, that could be a bad one for them. So I don't think they will be. I think they'll be okay. But that was a huge win.
Yeah, there is a huge win for Michigan. And like I said, you talk about Maryland, we'll go right back down to them. They went to Michigan State and got beat pretty badly, 40-21. Good bounce back win for Michigan State. Now they've got their huge test, obviously, with Ohio State. We'll see what happens there. But, these 3 teams, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, they all control their own destiny.
They do.
And you're going to be in the playoffs. So
that's right.
It's all, like I said, it's 3-game season for all of them. It's all right ahead of them. We'll move on. Notre Dame, there they are. They win again, 28-3. How about this? They held Virginia to 3 points. I know we weren't surprised Notre Dame won. Were you shocked by the score, though?
Oh, totally shocked. I thought that would be a tough game for them. Dominated from the start. They're getting better like they do. They're pretty much a cinch at 11-1. I think they have Georgia Tech this week. How about Georgia Tech? They finished with Notre Dame and Georgia. That's quite a duo to finish with. And then they've got Stanford on the road. I don't see Stanford beating them. So they're looking at 11-1. They don't have a conference championship game to worry about losing. They could slip in there. They still have a shot if a lot of things happen.
They're still a dark horse there. I think they got a shot to get in it as well. How about this? Oklahoma State, 63-17 win over TCU. Hey, guys, remember that Baylor team that was supposed to be so good that beat Oklahoma? They lost to TCU last week. And I bet you money, we'll talk about this on Thursday, I bet you money Baylor goes up to those really tough Kansas State Wildcats this week. I bet Kansas State kicks their ass. I really think I'm going to pick that as one of my locks. Anyway, Oklahoma State wins 63-17. All of a sudden, the favorites, if OSU wins out, are they in the college football playoff?
They have a shot. If Cincinnati, if it goes the way we are looking at it right now, where Georgia is in, the Big Ten teams have 1 loss. Oregon goes ahead and only loses 1. And Cincinnati finishes undefeated. I don't think they take Oklahoma State over an undefeated Cincinnati. I really don't. Now, they do need to have Oklahoma in the championship game to where they can beat them twice.
Yeah.
But the way it stands to me, if Baylor wins out and Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, they're going to play Baylor, not Oklahoma.
Yep.
So that's not going to be able to happen.
Oh, don't worry. Those Kansas State, those tough Kansas State Wildcats will beat
Well,
that
that's true.
good
That's okay.
Baylor team this week.
The thing with Oklahoma State, they got the bullseye on their back now.
Yeah.
They are the favorites. They don't play well in that situation. And they don't play well at Texas Tech, and that's where they go this week. So,
yeah.
An eye on that one.
We'll see if they can handle it. And I'll tell you something. When OU and OSU mean something, OSU rarely wins that game. I'm just saying. I know everybody thinks OU is going to go out there and get blown out. Very rarely in my lifetime has OU got blown out by OSU. It's happened one time in 38 years of me being alive. So I'm just saying, don't think that's a lock because it's not. All right, Ole Miss gets a huge win, 29-19 over Texas A&M. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Texas A&M, they could slip in that SEC title game." Nope, not going to happen. Ole Miss wins 29-19. Could you believe this score?
A&M cannot win a game they have to. It's just that simple. What a huge win for Ole Miss. I think that's the biggest win I can remember for them.
Yep.
In a long, long time. They've got a real shot to go 10-2.
Yep.
Yeah, Vanderbilt this week, and then they got the big one with Mississippi State, which won't be easy. But what a season for them. Great year.
Yep, great. And you're right. Anytime A&M gets the expectation level up high or the pressure on them, then they lose.
Yep.
So pretty incredible. Wake Forest gets a 45-42 win over North Carolina State. That's going to put Wake Forest most likely, unless they fall apart, in the ACC championship game. So a great year for Wake Forest. Got
to win one more.
Yeah, and they should be able to do that. How about this? Auburn gets ahead 28-3. Wow. This game looks like it's over. Mississippi State storms back and wins this one 43-34. Is this more about Mississippi State, hitting their stride, or is this an Auburn team that's just not very good?
I think it's a little bit of both. I heard today. Now, this is the first I'd heard of it. Bo Nix is out for the season.
Yeah.
When did he get hurt in that game?
He got hurt on the second to last drive. Okay. He was not a factor in them losing this one.
Okay. That was a great comeback from Mississippi State. And I like Mississippi State because I like Leach. I think he's funny. I think he's a great coach too. Mm-hmm. And that's a big, big win for them. They should be 7-3, because they got screwed out of that one game.
Yeah.
6-4. I forget who they play this week. I think it's somebody they can beat. I think it's like,
they play like a dummy team, and then they play Mississippi on Thanksgiving.
So they're looking 8-4, 7-5.
By the way, the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving, that's a can't miss game.
That's right. That'll be a great football game.
Be a hell of a game between two really good teams as well. Yep. I don't know if they're both really good, but they're both good.
They're good.
And Dennis says NCAA football looks so blah outside of Georgia. You're right.
There's no doubt.
Wisconsin, like I said, they won 35-7. How about Iowa? They won 27-22. That's win number 8 for Iowa.
Yeah.
San Diego State beats Nevada 23-21.
Good win.
Yeah, good win for San Diego State, and a good win for UTSA. Texas San Antonio, one of 3 undefeated teams left. They beat Southern Miss 27-17.
I tell you what, that was a tough game for them. Mm-hmm. Southern Mississippi's terrible.
Yes.
They got their big one this week. They've got UAB, and that's a pretty good football team. I got a feeling they were looking ahead to them.
You notice these teams like UTSA, like Cincinnati, those games start to get tighter, even when they're playing teams that aren't very good, because that pressure mounts and they're not used to it.
Never been in that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But a big win for them. They'll probably move up a little bit. We had Utah go to Arizona and win 38-29. That sets up that Utah-Oregon game this week that we'll talk about on Thursday. And then finally, Arkansas goes to overtime against LSU and wins it 16-13. Arkansas with a big victory. How about that? The Hogs are now 7-3.
7-3. Got Missouri and Alabama left. They got Alabama this week. You give them any chance?
No, but I think they can be competitive.
I'm a little surprised LSU played as well as they did in that game.
They fought it.
They did, and I didn't think they would. So I don't think Arkansas's got enough offense to beat Alabama. I don't think they can score enough.
I think that's going to be ultimately the problem. I think they can keep it close. I think Arkansas will go fight it at Alabama.
They will.
They're just not. They just can't really
You
match
know, they
up.
play decent at times down there.
Yeah, they do.
When they have a decent team,
yeah,
they've played pretty well down there.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Should have smashed Louisville. Forgot they retired Lamar's jersey and they beat the holy hell out of Ricky's Q's. Yeah, how about that game? I saw the score. I always check the Syracuse score and the Louisville score. Wow.
Yeah, I checked Louisville because of Dennis.
I did too.
And Syracuse because of Ricky too. And Syracuse has been playing good.
Yeah.
And that's there must have been some turnovers or something maybe in that game.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I looked at the score and thought, oh my God, that's terrible. And I looked at, I think Louisville, they're 5-5. I think they'll go to a bowl. They play somebody kind of weak this week, and then they got Kentucky, and I think that's kind of a toss-up game. So
yeah, that's a rivalry game. That could go either way.
Yeah, let me look up. Hold on here for Dennis's sakes. Let's. Louisville has they go to Duke Thursday night, and then they have Kentucky at home. So
they could beat Kentucky.
I think they'll go 6-6.
I do too, for sure.
Yeah, so
they could beat Kentucky too.
They could. I think that's a toss-up game. Yeah, Dennis, we all should go. We all should go to that Kentucky Louisville game. I think that's.
I'm going to pass, Dennis.
Yeah, one last thing in college football. Mark brings it up. Wyoming covered the spread at Boise State. That shocked me still. 5-5, no passing game this year. Wasted 4-0 start. So bad beat of the maybe not of the year because there's been some bad ones. But how about this? It's that there's no time. There's basically time for one play, and Wyoming's down. I can't remember those. I think it was 23-7. And so Boise has it covered, and Wyoming throws like a little 5-yard pass and broke it all the way for the touchdown. And Wyoming covered.
That sounds like what's happening to me every week.
I know. No, Dennis has to work during that game. All right. Let's move on to the NFL. We'll do this because in about 45 minutes, they're going to kick off. Monday Night Football, the Rams at the 49ers. The Rams 7-2, 49ers 3-5. 49ers desperately need a win. Rams got to bounce back from a terrible effort last week. Well, not terrible, but an effort where they got beat at home against Tennessee. Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. Where are you leaning on this Monday night game?
You asking me to pick an NFL game?
It's been difficult, yeah.
Logic doesn't work. Nothing works. You know, the 49ers were god awful last week. Lost to Colt McCoy at home. They're pretty much dead in the water. Rams have everything to play for. Logic says they're going to win. 3.5. I think that's a very low line. Is Odell Beckham Jr. going to screw him up? Maybe. I'll do what Martin says. Pick the under. I got it, Martin. I'm going with you.
Yeah, the under, the total here is 50.5, and the under is part of Martin's parlay. I will say this: the Rams 27.5 team total. I think the Rams get that. I think, even though I say that as I stutter, even though I say that. I think, Martin, you're right. I think it's like a 28-10, 28-17 type of game. That gets you the under. So, but I do think the Rams are going to bounce back and score a little bit here.
Well, Dennis likes the Niners.
Yeah.
And Dennis, I'm not going to argue with you on these pro games. I don't think the Niners are very good. And that's why I think that line, I think if the Rams play like they're capable, they should cover that. Mm-hmm. That's just my thinking. I'm just not very high on the Niners, but after the last couple of weeks, shoot, I'm not surprised by anything.
Yeah, I know. And Martin says, why? The line is odd for sure. It seems like the Rams should be favored by a lot more than that. But the Monday Night Football game at home.
It's a rivalry, too. That's an old rivalry.
Yeah. I think thinks the 49ers will blow the Rams out.
Well, he thinks it'll blow the Rams out.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Should be a fun game. Rams have been a fun team to watch at times. So, yeah.
Here's another thing: the Cardinals got beat.
Mm-hmm.
Rams moved back into a first-place tie, so it's huge for them.
Yeah, it really is big. And Mark says pro football makes as much sense as calculus 3 for me this year. beat the tough opponent, then lose to the cupcake. Yeah, and maybe that trend continues.
Mark was smart enough not to take calculus or trigonometry. I don't ever take anything I can't pronounce, so I didn't take trigonometry.
Speaking of losing to the cupcake, the Ravens go to Miami Thursday night. We talked about this game Thursday. 22-10. The Dolphins beat the Ravens. Was it ever really in doubt? Like, the Dolphins seemed like they had this thing under control the whole night. You would have couldn't really score and put them.
You would have thought they were You would have thought they were the 6-2 team.
Yeah,
they played their tail ends off. Their defense played great in that. I was so impressed with how they played, and they had nothing to play for. Then they just rose up and they kicked their. It was pretty funny, actually.
It was hilarious, and we're laughing about Ricky's Syracuse Orange. We could also laugh about Ricky's Baltimore Ravens.
I was thinking about Ricky the whole time. It was Ricky, and you love Lamar, and he really didn't have any help.
Lamar didn't have a lot of help, and he didn't look great in this game, and I don't blame him really. They just were awful in this one. And the Dolphins, hey, they're 3-7. Like I said, they're the sleeper team. They're going to win out. Actually, if you look at the Dolphins' schedule, they have a legitimate shot to win like 4 or 5 in a row here. So
they're peaking at the right time.
So Lamar was partying back in Florida. That's possible. They look like they certainly look like that. All right, talk about a team that didn't lose to a cupcake this week. Dallas bounced back 43-3. So what was that last week? Just totally didn't show up.
Yeah, it's just weird. They did this week. And,
it was 36-3 at the half.
Yeah, they were ready to go.
Yeah, they were awesome in this game. CeeDee Lamb, my gosh, he might be a Pro Bowler. This guy is having a hell of a year.
If he's not, the Associated Press writers are the one doing the picking. That's for sure.
That's right.
He not be.
Well, speaking of, not to bag on Ricky, but Will one more time. He told me at Saratoga during the Travers, Jared and I said, CeeDee Lamb probably going to be a Pro Bowler this year. He's got all the talent in the world. And Ricky said there's no chance that's going to happen. So, well, doesn't look good. All right, move on. A lot of people thought the Saints would pull the upset here. The Saints do cover. That's the good news. So if you bet the Saints, you do get the bet cash. But they lose 23-21. This is a pretty good game. Saints had to kind of score late, and they made it 23-21. They go for 2. They don't get it. The Titans, man, they're now 8-2. They just keep winning. They're
just a tough bunch. They really are. Very resilient. I'm really impressed with them. I still think it's gonna get them before it's over with. But that was a good win. I mean, the Saints played pretty good.
Yep.
And came down to the 2-point conversion. They didn't get it. So 8-2. They're a lock for the division. That's for sure.
No doubt. And I want to ask Dennis this question because Dennis chimes in, Saints, Titans, under 44.5, and I survived. So let me ask you, Dennis, because you're a Saints fan. It's 23-21. The Saints are going for 2. If they get it, they've got the game tied, and they've got a shot to win it. If they get it, you lose your bet. What are you rooting for? What's more important?
Dennis.
Your fandom or your money? I'm really interested to hear the answer.
Yeah, Dennis, come on.
Colts beat the Jaguars in a game that was closer than a lot of people probably expected. The Colts do win 23-17. Unpopular take. If the Jaguars will leave Urban Meyer alone, and if Urban Meyer's in it, his heart's in it, I think he can get the Jaguars going next year.
I don't have any doubts.
I think they're getting better. I think he's learning the NFL. If they'll leave him alone, the media leave him alone, and his heart's really in it, I think they'll get him back. So
he has won everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
And he's got the pro kind of mind, I think. He's been around, won in a lot of different places. I think he will succeed too if you give him a chance. It's going to take a while to rebuild that. He's got the quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind that guy's going to be good one of these days.
Yeah.
So he's got the piece there. Then he's got to just build around it. But they are not playing bad.
Nope, they're not. and their end games are competitive, and that's good. Martin says he would root for the money. He says you will stay a fan, but you don't want to be a broke fan.
Well, Martin, this is the reason I don't bet on my teams.
Yeah.
Teams I like, I will not bet them because I'm not going to sit there and root against them.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Dennis says, okay, if it wasn't the Saints, I would have been cheering for defense of any other team I like. So there you go. But the Saints, I guess that's kind of like your big team. So it's definitely a rough way to go there, Dennis. I'm sorry you were put in that situation, but at least you made money. So as Martin says, you're still a fan, but you're not a broke fan. So that's good. That's really well said. All right, let's move on. I'll throw Mark's comment up here now. New England might be the sneaky pick to win their division this year, Mark says. They have the Bills twice, and Buffalo struggling at time. Mac Jones is maturing in a hurry. I put that up there as we talk about the Patriots blowing out the Browns 45-7. Browns are a dumpster fire one week, and then they're okay another week. Then they play really good, and then they're a dumpster fire. Forget about them. Let's talk about the Patriots. I got red and blue on right now. I'm adopting the Patriots. They're my pick to win that division. I think they're a sleeper for the Super Bowl.
Well, I always have liked the Patriots.
I know.
And I've gotten made fun of because no one likes them because they win.
Yeah.
Why else? I mean, everybody says they cheat. Bullshit. Anyway, so they win. And is there a better coaching staff in the league?
Nope.
No, I don't think so either. But they're playing really, really well. Mark is exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about it before we went on the air. They got Buffalo twice left. And you said last week the Bills have trouble with them. They got a shot. Now they gotta keep winning. They got to go to Atlanta, and it's one of those tricky Thursday night games this week. And we've had some wild stuff happen on these Thursday night games. That's one that would really be worrying me. So they got to go there. And then they got Tennessee before they ever play Buffalo. So you know what? If they win those two, and they're 8-4. They got a shot. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I think I'm not gonna pick them to win the Super Bowl.
No.
If you want to bet a sleeper, I think they're a good one because I do think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they can beat Buffalo. The problem is they dropped that game to Miami. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. A game like that is a killer when you're trying to chase down a team like Buffalo, who's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think if the Patriots were sitting there at 7-3, not only would we say, hey, they could win the division, they would be in front of the division. That Miami game is keeping them from being number one in that division. I talked to Heather's family, big time New England fans. I talked to them last time I was up there. I can't remember when that was even. It was right after the Tampa Bay game. And they were kind of down because, they could have won and they just didn't get the job done. And I told them, I said, they're building something. It's coming. You got to be patient. And here they are with a real good chance, like I said, to make the playoffs and make an impact. And it was men against boys in that game yesterday.
Oh, it was. And, I'm a big Browns fan, but I found myself rooting for New England yesterday. I just think New England's got a better chance to do something than the Browns do.
Yep.
The Browns have got so many injuries. They've had so many distractions.
Yep.
Mayfield's hurt. He needs to sit out. He's not helping him because he can't play. He's hurt.
And this is a really good point. Mark says that almost every team's got a bad loss in the NFL this year. So right. And New England getting hot at the right time for sure. Listen, I like watching this New England team play. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're sound fundamentally. They've got a very solid defense. They've got a young quarterback. Every week you see him getting a little better. They can run the football. I just like watching them play. So I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the year. We'll move on. The Bills beat the Jets, so they survive that. The Jets, who have been upsetters to a couple pretty good teams this year. The Bills get it done 45-17. Like I said, Bills Patriots could be on a collision course. Oh boy, in this game I want to talk about. The Fighting Magic Lions taking on Magic says we don't have to mention that one game at time.
Yes, we do.
Like at all. We can just skip it. So here's what's funny. The Lions and Steelers play to a 16-16 tie. Magic's two favorite teams are the Lions and the Steelers.
No,
they play
that's
each other,
right.
and he doesn't get a win from either one.
Oh, that's right. Now, did either team have a chance to score in overtime?
Oh my God! Either team, they had 100 chances to score.
Oh, they did. Did they miss field goals? Or
Yes, Detroit missed a field goal that, it wasn't a chip shot, but my goodness, an NFL kicker could make it. And not only did he miss it, it wasn't even close.
Oh, God.
And then Pittsburgh had like 27 chances with decent field position and never could do it, or they would fumble, or they would get stopped. It was awful.
Well, look at the bright side. The Lions aren't going to be the first and only team to go 0-17 in the NFL. I think they went 0-16 once, didn't they?
Yes.
Well, shoot, maybe they should have added 0-17 to their record. They'd go down in history.
Time for this is. I knew the comments would be great. A tie for the Lions is like a win. Martin had Detroit in a parlay plus 200. That's. I'm telling you,
he's a parlay king now. I'm telling you,
he's a parlay king.
Yeah, we even.
Magic says we even suck at being the worst. We can't even go 0-17 now.
Yeah, yeah, you suck at everything. And the bad thing is, Magic, you really needed your Steelers to win.
Martin says he's the parlay guru, not the king or the queen.
Okay, I agree with you, Martin. Oh, funny stuff.
Mark says both teams had running backs that admitted they didn't even know the NFL could play to a tie.
Is that true?
Yes, I know that because I own Najee Harris in my fantasy league, and I keep up with him, and he's having a really good year, by the way. Najee's a good player. Good. And anyway, I read that quote from him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Isn't that funny that those players don't know? They don't know.
Well, I think everybody they're just shocked. Like, what? The tie?
Yeah.
It was great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was an entertaining. It's funny because the game wasn't on here, but I have it on Red Zone, and they showed most of that overtime, and it's just like, okay, the Lions have it at the 40-yard line, and then they're punting from the 42, and then it's like, okay, the Steelers have it from the 40-yard line, and they're fumbling, and it's just incredible. All right, remember when Mark said some teams are losing to cupcakes? And Dennis goes, cupcake here. How about this one? The defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers 19, the Washington football team 29. They win 29-19. Could you believe this one?
No, I can't. This second game in a row, Brady has thrown a couple of interceptions, not played real well. The kicker on this was they were coming back and they needed to stop. And Washington ran out the last 10 minutes of the game, I think.
As Mark said, Washington had the most impressive game-ending drive. 19 plays, 11 minutes. They got to a fourth down a couple of times. They got to third and mediums many, many times, and they would just get 6 yards if they needed 5. They'd get 8 yards if they needed 7. It was unbelievable.
So I guess maybe instead of worrying about Brady, maybe Tampa needs to be worried about their defense. They've had defensive problems all year. So I see where their coach flat blasted them after the game. And I thought that was great. I really did.
Yeah.
He don't take nothing off of them, and he let them have it after the game. So
you mean a guy that coaches all these veterans and a guy like Tom Brady blasts them, and then a guy that coaches 18, 19, 20-year-old kids is worried about their safety.
Yeah.
Get them off the field. Don't let them kick that field goal.
He's scared.
And you wonder why OU has a culture problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Think about that a little bit. All right, let's move on. Dennis said next 3 games are cupcakes. Here's game 2 of the cupcake. I will say this, Dennis. The Panthers win, by the way, 34-10 on the road at Carolina or against the Cardinals, and they just beat the hell out of them. Cam Newton scores 2 touchdowns. He was unemployed when we did this show last week. He scores 2 touchdowns in this game. Colt McCoy comes back to earth for
Mhm.
sure. I mean, in a big way. He's not that good. He played really good last week. He didn't hear. Dennis says, "I'm back." That's right. Cam is back. 34-10. You know, I was surprised by the score.
Yes.
But I wasn't surprised the Cardinals got beat here. It just to
Well,
me
with
in the
Murray
NFL,
not,
it seems like when you have to play the backup for the second week,
Yeah.
they usually come down to earth.
yeah, with Murray not playing,
Yeah.
it gives them a little bit of a break, an excuse, I guess. Now, do you want to bet Carolina next week with Cam, or you want to back off of that?
Well, no. I think Cam. It's funny. They asked Cam and said, "How many plays did you know?" Because PJ Walker played most of the game. They put Cam into the goal line, and they said, "How many plays did you know?" He said, "I knew the 2 that scored the touchdowns."
But he's back. Yeah, he's back. Oh, God. Just score your touchdown with some class there, Camo.
Yeah. Well, I came to expect what happened was going to happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Another game. The big winner this week was the Chiefs, and not only because they won, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but Denver lost, and then the Chargers lost at home to the Vikings. The Vikings finally get one of these close games, and they win it. Boy, the Chargers, remember on this show, and a lot of people commenting, wasn't just us, thought the Chargers, man, they could be a sleeper to really make some noise. They may not make the playoffs now. They're 5-4. What has happened to our Chargers?
They're the Chargers. They do. How many times have we said, when are they going to be the Chargers? Well, they've turned into them. You can't trust them. I do want to comment on the Vikings. Is there a team that's any more resilient than them?
No.
Okay, I found this on the web for Is There a Tennis Any More Resilient Than Them? Check it out.
What is that?
Somehow Papa Dude has activated his Siri on his computer.
I did. I'm just sitting here. I never did anything. It's the third time that's done that. Anyway, I thought the Vikings would lay an egg. That might have been awesome to you, Curtis, but I don't know why that happened. Would somebody please enlighten me? I never touched anything on this computer.
This is why a lot of people watch the show, to see what Papa Dude will do this week.
I didn't do anything. I
don't even have to ask the dumb question to get it out of him this week. He did it himself. So.
Well, anyway, but the Vikings, as I was saying before Siri came on here for some reason, I thought they'd just go out there and get killed. They had COVID problems and they lose in these close games. Unbelievable. That was a great win. I'm glad I can give you all such a thrill.
Magic says, "I'm walking the dogs and thought I pocket bumped something." Martin says the Chargers are the Hardys. I don't know what that means.
I have to figure that one out.
Mark says, "Siri, is the AP poll full of shit?"
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, the Chargers have come back down to earth to get back to business here. And you know what? It was kind of it's a perfect situation of if the Vikings, it's just literally one or two things went differently in their season. They would be right there with a winning record, kind of competing for maybe not the division, but a wild card for sure. And they came in there, and like I said, they just keep playing hard, they keep fighting, and the Chargers are choking, and the Vikings were able to beat them. So. Big win for the Vikings. Maybe they can kind of get back in that. All right, Eagles beat the Broncos. We talked about, hey, the Eagles, they'll play hard, even though they traded Ertz, and we thought, well, they might be done. They continue to play hard. They stomped the Broncos 30-13.
Hey, wouldn't you take Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma right now?
I sure would. I sure would.
He wouldn't stand for this shit that's going on down there.
Yeah.
He's a leader.
Yeah.
To me, he's done more for his team than anybody in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
He's the Eagles offense. I mean, they're playing pretty good. Do you think they'd win 4 games this soon? I didn't. They're tough out. They can beat some people. Anyway, move on.
I think Denver is not very good, and that
Well, I do too.
You still go on the road, and you're not very good either.
30-13. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, you went on the road, you played well, and you won a game. I mean, that's not hard. I mean, that's not easy to do in the NFL if you're good. So, yeah, great win for the Eagles there. Okay, Seahawks and the Packers. The Packers won by 17 points. I think if I would have told you that, you go, yeah, that's about right. Packers are darn good. We kind of thought the Seahawks could upset them. Seahawks get goose egg. 0. Russell Wilson comes back and they get 0. 17-0 Packers. I mean, were you shocked by this score?
Yes, I thought the Seahawks were just pitiful on offense. That was as bad as I've seen an NFL team look. I mean, Green Bay's playing really good on defense, but not that good. I mean, they looked awful. I mean, just god awful. Because Green Bay wasn't much better. It was 3-0 going into the fourth quarter. And, you know, that was one of the boringest games I've ever watched. But Green Bay got the win, and I'm not sure Wilson's healthy. I'm not sure. He just looked terrible.
He looked bad. He looked really bad. And like I said, it was a game that you thought would be really exciting, and it turned out to be really, really boring.
Hey, when I saw it was snowing and everything, man, I said, oh, good. I love watching it when it's snowing. Of course, it wasn't snowing until late in the game, but it snowed that morning. I was really looking forward to that. And then, that was a snoozer.
It was definitely a snoozer. One game that, if you were a Chiefs fan, was not a snoozer, and it's time for Isaac. Isaac's been talking about the Chiefs in this chat here. He's pumped, and he should be. He's a big Chiefs fan, and he was definitely pumped to see the Chiefs win 41-14 over the Raiders. Isaac says, what do you think about Mahomes throwing 5 touchdowns? Tyreek and Travis Kelce having big performance. Are the Chiefs back? They kind of looked like their old selves last night.
They sure did. And they're going to I'm going to make this prediction. They're going to romp in this division. I really think so. I think this division is getting ready to just fall completely apart. Say what you want to about Gruden. They miss him. Yeah. I think he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
He won a couple of games after he left, but they've lost 2 here. They didn't even show up last night. They just got thumped by the Chiefs. Chiefs looked like the Chiefs last night. And, you know, the Chiefs defense is getting better. They're playing better. And, hey, suddenly that game next week or this week, Dallas and Kansas City is a good one. By the way, the Chiefs are favored in that game. So I think the Chiefs are getting ready to – they may not win next week. I wouldn't bet against them, but they may not. But I think they're getting ready to roll after that.
Well, and Martin said not a hard division to romp. And then Mark was waiting to put up your comment here. I will now. Vegas has come back down to earth. The Chiefs look bad and still might win that division. 6-4, and they're in first. 5-5 in last. And like I said, the Broncos are 5-5, but they are a very shaky 5-5. I don't really think anybody took the Raiders all that serious after the whole Gruden debacle. The team that really has fallen the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers looked really good, and now they're behind Kansas City. So,
well, this is what they've got left. What the Chiefs have left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After Dallas, they got Dallas this week.
Yeah,
they got to play Denver twice. Well, I don't see any way Denver beats them.
No,
they got Vegas at home.
Yep.
They got to go to L.A., but they're going to beat the Chargers.
They're going to beat them. Yep.
Yeah. They got Pittsburgh at home. They're going to beat Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And they got to go to Cincinnati. Any doubt that they won't beat them?
I think if the game is meaningful, they will win. Yeah.
So let's say Dallas beats them. Their last 6 games are Denver twice, Las Vegas and Kansas City, Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Got to go to the Chargers. Got to go to Cincinnati. I say they win all 6. What is that? 12-5. They'll win the division by 4 games if they go 12-5.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. And I don't know that they'll win this week, but like you said, when you lay out the rest of those games, it doesn't matter. No. So I think
10-7 wins the division.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
We just went over that, Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac says, what team that is left for the Chiefs this year is a tough team for them to beat, and why? And the answer is this week against Dallas.
Yeah,
And
that's going to be a tough game.
why is because Dallas has one of the best offenses in the league. They have went on the road and beaten tough opponents this year. They went on the road and almost beat Tampa Bay to start the year.
Right.
And I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense will have a lot of trouble matching up with that Dallas offense. I expect a high scoring game. And I'm not, even though he looked better, I still didn't think Mahomes was great last night. I know people are going to say, what are you talking about? Look at his numbers. If you watch the game, he missed a lot of throws, and he had a lot of balls that should have been intercepted that weren't because the Raiders didn't make plays. That being said, I do think they'll have success. I think it'll be a really high-scoring game this week.
Yeah, and I wouldn't root against or bet against the Chiefs in that game at Arrowhead, but Dallas is not going to be awestruck at all going in there. This is a huge game for them, and they don't play a lot of teams that are real good. So this is a game they're going to get ready for. This is going to be a great game next week, I think. I'll be surprised if it's not.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, we're two really, really, really good teams. And I think that that's the biggest thing to take away here. All right. That's going to do it. We've got a little bit of time here before Monday Night Football. If you want to tell you've been teasing the story. Hold on here. Let me get our fancy overlays back up there. You've been teasing the story about, Isaac brought it up a couple weeks ago about something about the scores table at Pierce City. Is tonight the night you want to tell that story?
Oh, wait a minute. One more Guru give out under on tonight's game.
Okay.
From the Guru. Here we go.
Okay, one more Guru give out under on tonight's game. Rams money line, Suns game over 222 points, and then Los Angeles Laker money line 4-team parlay for Martin. So Martin, one thing about it, Martin is not going to have a boring night. He's got NBA, he's got NFL.
Martin has taken Dennis's place for the person with the gambling problem. Congratulations, Martin. I really do, though, respect your knowledge. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's 2-0.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Martin, I had a guy that listens to this show, and this is a true story. He texted me. He said, "Hey, do you know who this Martin guy is?" I said, "I don't, other than he's been on the show the last couple of weeks listening." This guy's good. I bet those parlays. So hopefully Dan's watching again and he'll bet the parlay tonight. So.
He is good. Yeah. Yeah, I disagreed with him on that one last week, but it cashed. So
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that was the NBA game you just.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Which one did? Oh, the Sixers and the Raptors.
Yes. Yeah, he picked the Raptors. Yeah.
In Philly, and I thought Philly would beat him, but he got it. So pretty good.
Martin, the funny thing is, the people that comment, with stuff on this show, like Dennis is a Louisville fan, or Ricky with Syracuse, on and on. Mark with Wyoming. I look at that stuff when I see those comments, and so I found myself getting ready to go to bed, and I literally said to myself, "I'll see if Martin got that parlay." Well, I'll see Raptors. Shit, the Raptors won, And so,
hey, I've got to admit, I waited till the next morning before I checked it. But that's the first thing I did when I got up, and I took out the computer out. And I went to ESPN to see and I thought, holy shit, he got that right.
Yeah. Martin said he's been following us for 4 years. Thank you for that. Yeah, we really, really appreciate everybody.
Thanks for coming on the show and commenting, Martin. You're make the show better. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, the commenters make the show, and Papa Dude doing dumb things makes the show what it is. So.
Well, I still don't know what I did, but that's the third straight show that's happened on. But I know I touched something before, but this time I did not. But anyway, back to if Isaac's still there. Isaac, are you still there? What happened? Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. All right. Now, where I was at, Pierce City, we were in a little town called Pierce City, and that's the big rival of the school I was coaching at. And it's kind of a rival, but the school where I was at hardly ever beats them.
Yeah.
They don't beat them very often. So it's a big deal when we beat them. Pierce City is always really good. So we're in there playing a basketball game, and we're getting better. guy I coached with, a great coach. We were getting our kids to where they would believe that they were pretty good. So we're in there, we're playing them. It's not a regular season game, it's in a tournament, and it's over at their place. Anyway, we're down 1, and we call timeout, set up a play, and we screwed around, didn't run it right, and we ended up taking kind of a bad 3-point shot right at the buzzer. It was about a second or so. Well, anyway, our big kid grabs it, the rebound, and puts it in at the buzzer to win by 1 point. Well, there's chaos, pandemonium, nuts. The place is packed because the two schools hate each other, 2 towns hate each other. And I wasn't for sure whether the basket counted because it was question mark. And Pierce City's coach is over there going bananas. He's after the referee, chasing him in the locker. Well, before that happened, though, I thought, was it good? Was it good? Well, I turn and I look at Andy, the other coach, and he's jumping up and down, going crazy because he had seen the referee signal, it's good.
Yeah.
So he's going nuts down there, first time we beat him in 100 years. We're going crazy. So our kids are going, they're going nuts. And so we got to go through the line to shake hands. So we do. And of course, their coach, he's not even in the thing. He's chased the referees into the locker room. So I turn around to look at the scoreboard because I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
They didn't put the score up. The score is still 52-51 Pierce City. So I go over there and I go, are you going to put the score up? And she goes, well, the referee never said the shot was good. You keep putting it up till they say the shot's good. I said, you didn't see your damn coach chase the damn referee into, I didn't say damn. I said, you didn't see your coach chase the referee into the locker room. What do you think he chased the referee in the locker room for? The basket was good. He wouldn't be chasing him in there. Put the score up.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Put it up. She wouldn't do it. He said, I can't put the score up till I'm told by the official. So I just am about to go ballistic. Well, Andy pulls me, he's, come on, we won. Get to the locker room. So Sandy goes over there. I didn't know this, I'm in the locker room. So she goes over there and she tells this lady, she goes, why don't you put the score up? Because our people would like to take a picture of that scoreboard. And she put it up there. She put it up there for about 30 seconds. And our fans got to get out there and take a picture of it. So anyway, I had to apologize. Yeah. This is a true story now. We're in the locker room. We're going crazy. This was a huge win for us. And by the way, we beat them 2 more times in the next couple of years because we got really good.
Yeah.
The kids we were good. And anyway, we beat them a couple more times. And so we're in the locker room. We're going nuts. We're in this little cubby hole locker room,
Yeah.
There's 12 guys in there and you can't even turn around without touching somebody. Well, here comes our AD. Could I talk to you a minute? And I said, okay. No, it wasn't the AD. It wasn't the AD. It was the elementary principal. He's a nice guy, hell of a guy. And anyway, he was the supervisor. Said, could I talk to you a minute? I said, sure. So I go out there. He goes, would you come up here? Because their AD is really mad at you. And I said, do you think I give a shit if Pierce City's AD is mad at me? I don't give a shit. That's exactly what I said. Why would I care? He said, well, just come up here. So I go back up there. And the lady's she's at the scores tables up there. And she's all upset. And so I had to apologize to her, which I didn't mind doing that because I felt bad about that. But she was wrong. But anyway, I felt bad about it. And yeah, so that's kind of what happened. It was legendary. So we had to go back the next day to play another game. Oh, well, I got a call, from our people. Now, please be quiet over there tomorrow. We've had enough problems. I said, you know what? You want to know why you can't beat Pierce City very much? It's because you're freaking scared of them. You're scared of them. They don't mean shit to me. They're just another team. No wonder they dominate us.
Yeah.
Here's another thing about Oh, there's no reason to get into it. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened. And that's probably the greatest thing I ever did while I was there. I don't know. But I was going to say, why don't you put the score up?
Yeah.
Why don't you put this? I mean, anyway.
Well, I think we learned that. I think Lincoln Riley just would have went to the locker room, but you.
Oh yeah, Lincoln would have.
So
Lincoln would have got on there and said, "Well, I'm not sure that basket counted."
Yeah.
Maybe it shouldn't have won. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. That's great. I never knew that story, Isaac. I'm glad that you made him tell it.
Andy and I watched that tape. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
One time we would watch it and think it didn't count, and the next time we would watch it and think it did count. It was very, very close. It really.
So I want to know, Isaac, was Isaac going crazy as well with everybody?
Isaac went crazy every game we won.
Well, that's good.
Isaac was the best cheerleader to not be a cheerleader we ever had. Yeah. He would have been down there by Coach Hogan Miller, the other coach, because he was down at the end of the bench, so he would have been there. But anyway,
yeah.
He's showing it there right now. No, I can't show it right now.
What did he say? He said, "Remember one way I put his hands up to single the game, and then the other ref was so confused and walked out."
Okay, well, see, there's Isaac's version.
Yeah.
Now, Coach told me that the one referee signaled it immediately.
Okay, yeah. In Magic, yes, they did win.
Yeah, we won the game. But there's some stories. So.
Mark says Southwest Missouri is where the powerhouse basketball programs are, and it's kind of true. He played at St. Charles High from 01 to 04, and at Mizzou summer camp each year we got smoked by Neosho and Springfield.
Yes. That was those teams. All those guys ended up at Missouri State.
Yeah.
There was a kid named Cheney that played down at Neosho, great player.
Yes.
And the best player at Kickapoo went to Creighton. And his name was Oliver.
Yep.
He played in the NBA for several years. He never was a star, but he made some money in the NBA. So yeah, you're right. They were some great teams.
During that time period, Kickapoo was incredible. Devon Mitchell, that's another one. Yes. Right. Yeah. Mark, you're 6'5". Good Lord. We get Mark and Magic and Samich. That'd be a good.
I don't know what kind of shape they're in.
3, 4, 5.
Wow, what a basketball team that would be.
Yeah. Devon Mitchell was a really, really good player. Kickapoo, like I said, they had so many good players.
Well, they had that kid named what's his name? Laurie. Was his last name
Spencer?
Yeah, I think so. And his dad had all kinds of money. He was the owner of the Rams, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. They had a kid from Crane at Argo. Was that his name?
Yes. Yeah.
Brandon? Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
He transferred up there because, they recruited him.
Yeah. Big kid.
By the way, Mark, they recruit like crazy.
That's it. Yeah. Kickapoo, any little town that had a good player, they would go to Kickapoo. Yeah.
They gave his dad a job at the bank or something, and they get him up there. But that was a great team, and all those guys ended up playing college ball somewhere.
Yeah, they were very good.
Laurie went to Missouri, I think.
So, he did. Laurie went to Missouri. Yeah. I'm not. I know this one, Isaac. I think, and the Cheney kid from Neosho was a stud too.
Was.
That the good teams.
Yeah, they were. They had a big kid too. Another one besides Tolerant. I can't think of his name, but
yeah,
the Argo kid wasn't quite big enough to play big time ball. He went to College of the Ozarks down in Branson. Down there.
He may have won a national championship at College of the Ozarks.
He may have been on that team that won it.
I think him and the guy that coached at Aurora.
He was the coach, Steve Shepard.
No. Yeah, Steve Shepard was the coach, but the guy that real nice guy, coached at Aurora, great player at School of the Ozarks. I can see his face.
Who would that be?
No, nice guy.
He played here?
No, he didn't play. He didn't play in Aurora. He coached in Aurora. married Moriando. Can't think of his
Oh,
name.
Cutbirth.
Yes, Daniel
No, he
Cutbirth.
played at Evangel.
Oh, he played at Evangel. That's right. That's right. They won the national title, though.
Yeah.
I forgot Cutbirth was at Evangel.
Yeah. Him and that kid from Marionville.
Yes.
Osterloh.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, good times. Yeah, there are some really good players, basketball players, that come out of
Yes.
Missouri. There really
Southwest
are.
Missouri is really good in basketball. Springfield area for sure.
Yeah. And we're very good. The Joplin area where I live is very good in football.
In football, not very good in basketball.
Yeah, so it's odd how it works like that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, there's a little bit of Missouri trivia / history / things that nobody really wants to know. But
No, Mark brought it up.
Oh,
look at this down here at the bottom.
Martin, listen, you said you followed us for 4 years, and that made my day. But this makes my day even more. I'm going to get to watch this game. OBJ just stopped his route and got intercepted. Oh, I love it. Yeah, Vashon, Mark. Vashon, certainly. That's a team I've watched many, many times.
Yeah. What was that legendary called? Floyd something. Irons. Floyd Irons.
Yes.
I think his name's Floyd. I know his last name's Irons.
Vashon had
I really think the Rams made a huge mistake getting this guy.
1,000%. And, okay, I really don't think, Floyd Irons, Mark knows. I really don't think OBJ was the problem in Cleveland. I really don't. I don't. No. But I also, he's just not very good.
No, and it's all about him.
It is. And again, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, he's a loser and he's a cancer. I don't think that. I really don't. I just don't think he's very good. And I think he's overrated. A spot where you need a good player to be. And I don't think he has.
He's overrated.
It might be injuries. It might be we kind of overhyped him. I don't know. I just don't think he's that good.
Well, can you think he's made one fantastic catch and that he's built a career on it?
Kind of. Yeah.
So give me CD Lamb any day.
Well, yeah, that's just it. You think of number one receivers.
Give me Amari Cooper.
Andy says OBJ overrated. Needs Eli Manning to succeed. There you go.
Hey, Andy, did you hear that story I just said, or did you just get home?
Yeah, Andy was the head coach, by the way.
He's the head coach, one of the best ever, and he's coaching now over at Carthage. I bet he just got home from practice, probably. Yeah. He told the Pierce City scores table story, Andy, if you missed it. So, just got on. Rewind it, buddy. Rewind it, and you get a kick out of it.
Yeah, we got a Sircoxy reunion here. Papa Dude, Andy, and Isaac all in here talking about Sircoxy. Yeah. And we have a guy in Mark who knows.
Everybody else has tuned us out.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna get off here. Monday Night Football has started. Good luck to Martin. The Parlay Guru is what we're gonna call Martin from now on. The Parlay Guru tries to go 3-0. He gave out a bunch on this show today. So hopefully. I shouldn't say gave out a bunch of teams in a parlay, not a bunch of parlays. So hopefully he gets that one home. Hopefully, the Rams, I don't know. I don't really care if they win or lose, to be honest. I don't have a bet. So I'm an Arizona fan, so hopefully they lose. So Arizona continues to be one game ahead of them. So, all right, guys, we're going to get off of here now. We'll be back on Thursday to talk a little business with another week of football for you, and maybe OU will win this week. We'll see. All right, guys.
I am disappointed we didn't talk about Texas.
Oh yeah, real quick. Texas.
Let's save it for Thursday.
Well, no, let's say it. Texas lost to Kansas in football. ... again. Here's the deal.
That kind of took a lot of the sting out of us losing.
You can say forever, hey, OU should have lost. OU could have lost to Kansas. Kansas played, but they didn't lose. Right? Texas lost again.
At home.
At home, in overtime. Let a walk-on score the 2-point conversion. 57-56. Kansas beats Texas.
I got a kick out of how Kansas celebrated. And by the way, Aaron, have you seen the video of that kid's parents?
Yes. Yep.
Was that not awesome?
It was awesome. Yep.
If you guys haven't seen it, go to YouTube. I don't know what you type in. I typed in Kansas at Texas football.
You could ask Siri for it.
Yeah, but I just typed in Kansas at Texas football, and it came on there, and it was his parents' video on that play.
Yep.
I'm not sure they even knew he was in the game. I'm not sure.
Well, the guy said, I think that was so and so. I can't think of his name. He goes, I think that was kid's name, and one of them was like, I don't know, and they're like, it was because he jumped up. Yeah.
They go, I think that was Jared.
Yeah.
It was great. And I think I jumped up too.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I was watching the wrestling pay-per-view, but I had the game on.
I was watching. Didn't you think they wouldn't make it?
Oh, totally. And then when he's scrambling, he's going backwards. I was like, God damn it. They're going to lose this game by a point. Yeah. He threw it up. I'm like, I'll be intercepted. And the guy's standing there wide open.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
No, it was great. By the way, here's the only bad thing.
Okay.
It's great. Texas is awful. It's hilarious. They're going to go like 4-8. One thing.
Yeah.
It took a miracle for us to beat them.
Oh, that's right.
So
absolutely.
That's the only
doubt. It makes you wonder too. Had they won that game instead of lost it, would things have been different? Maybe. I don't think so though. They're not any good.
Yeah. No.
And now they're talking about firing this coach, which they should have never hired in the first place.
Yeah.
And anyway, Martin made a comment down there. I want to thank him for that comment he just made at the bottom.
I just saw it, Martin.
Because it's exactly what we're trying to be on here. We're not trying to be anything but ourselves. And I'm so glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, and we don't really script it. We just kind of wing it, and we get mad at each other, and that's all right.
That's right. Been that way for 38 years.
Yes, it has. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for listening. If you, by the way, if you ever join and it's like, I only got the last 3 minutes, you can always download the podcast version of this as well. If you can't join us live, always remember that we do have the podcast version up. It's up about 45 minutes after the show ends. So
right.
If you miss anything, you want to listen to it again, I don't know why you want to listen twice, but if you do, we're there, and we're there on podcast as well. We got the sports side as well, racenews.com/sports. Make sure to go there, read all the articles. And see what's going on over there. All right, guys, we're getting out now for real. It's going to happen this time. We will see you guys right back here on Thursday at noon. I'm trying to pick some more winners for the next slate of football games. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.